Okay, so yeah, that's what happens. So that is why we are going to do a quick recap.
Okay.
Okay, we are going to do a quick recap. Now, in the previous lecture, we studied about the evolution of economics. Evolution of economics. Okay, so now different philosophers and different economists, they defined economics. Okay, now they defined economics in the lot of years back. Okay, and then that definition of economics kept getting evolved. Okay, it kept getting changed, or some things kept adding up to it. Okay, so the earliest definition was that economics is a science of wealth. Okay, economics is a science of wealth.
Got it.
Okay, this was the first definition that was given. Okay, that it is a science of wealth. Now, what is wealth? Wealth is basically the richness of someone. Okay, it's all about money. Okay, wealth basically means abundance of money. Okay, abundance of money or richness. Okay, how rich somebody is, that is their wealth. Okay, now when we say that economics is a science of wealth, this definition implied three things. Okay, implied three things. Okay, first was the creation of wealth. Okay, how is wealth created? Okay, next one was the distribution of wealth. Okay, how is wealth distributed? Okay, how is wealth distributed? And third one was exchange of wealth. Okay, how wealth is exchanged. Okay, so three things came under this definition. Okay, three things came under this definition. Production means how do you get rich? Okay, then distribution means how do you distribute this wealth into different resources, and exchange of wealth. Okay, exchange of wealth. Okay, now what is all these? What is these three things? See, wealth is produced means we know that by selling goods, money is earned. Okay, and when money is accumulated, it creates wealth. Okay, when that money is accumulated by selling goods or services, okay, then money we receive, and when we accumulate that money, what happens is wealth is generated. Okay, so that is production of wealth. What is distribution of wealth? Distribution refers to when we allocate that for, suppose, let's take our household. Okay, we distribute that this much is for our land. Okay, this much is for the rent. Okay, this much is for this. So that is distribution of wealth. And what is exchange of wealth? Exchange of wealth refers to consumption that takes place. Okay, consumption, like similar to the buying and selling of goods, the consumption of goods. Okay, that is the exchange of wealth. So this was the first theory, that economics is a science of wealth. Then second one that we studied was that economics is a science of welfare. Economics is a science of welfare. What is welfare? In simple terms,
Like,
anyone? Yes.
the good of I know it's the good of something welfare, like
The good of something, yes, you can say that. The good of people,
yeah,
something that's good for society.
yeah,
Okay, welfare. So now, when they said signs of welfare, okay, signs of welfare, it included two different things. Signs of welfare included two different things. Do you remember what they were? One was the quantitative wealth and one was qualitative wealth. Okay,
right. Okay,
quantitative wealth, welfare, welfare, and qualitative welfare. Okay. Now, what is quantitative welfare and qualitative welfare? Quantitative welfare is something that can be measured in terms of money. Okay. This welfare can be measured in terms of money, whereas the qualitative welfare cannot be measured in terms of money. Okay. See, now when I talk about quantitative welfare, okay, it talks about something to which we can assign a monetary value. Okay, to which we can assign a monetary value. Okay,
okay,
for for example, our income. Okay, our income, I can say it in money form, like 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 1 lakh. Okay, income I can say in money form, right? But can you say that if you take any qualitative welfare aspect, peace of the country, can you say the peace of the country in money form? No, right?
no,
No, the peace cannot be, yes, it cannot be measured in monetary form.
yeah,
So, science of welfare only included things, the welfare concepts, which can be measured in money, okay, in quantitative terms. Some monetary value to be assigned to them. Only that aspect, the welfare of science, accepted, not the qualitative aspect, okay? Not
okay,
the qualitative aspect, okay? So, hope these two are clear. Said how economics was considered a science of wealth and how economics was considered a science of welfare. These two are clear. Okay.
yes.
Do you want to make some notes or write something down in short? You can do.
Actually, I don't have my book right now, so I'll say I'll take a screenshot though, and I'll write it down.
Okay, no problem. You can take a screenshot.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the third one, um, that economics is called. Have you taken the screenshot?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Megan, are you writing or shall I clear the screen? I'll wait for 1 minute and then I'll clear.
Yeah.
Screenshot. I can totally have a book right.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So the third one was again another definition. Okay, the third one was again another um, definition of economics. Okay, and that was known as economics as a science of scarcity and choice.
Okay.
Scarcity and choice. Okay. Now, this was very simple. Okay. This was very simple because what is scarcity? Anybody wants to tell in simple terms what is scarcity?
Uh, like you don't have that much of that thing. I can't.
Yes.
I don't know the word.
Yes, perfect. You don't have that much of something. Okay, means limited resources.
Yeah.
Limitation of resources. Okay, limited resources. That is scarcity. Okay. Now, what is choice? Choice is the decision that we have to make about how to use that scarce resource. Okay, decision on how to use how to use the limited resource. Okay, limited resource. That is our choice. Okay, now see, resources. Okay, when I talk about the word resources, they are limited in nature. Okay, they are limited. But when I say human wants, they are unlimited. Okay, they
Okay.
are unlimited. Why? Because if you've like seen normally, human wants keeps on increasing. Okay, human wants keeps on increasing. Before, like days and days back, people used to want to read newspapers. Okay, then later on they demanded to watch televisions. So televisions were in the run. Even before, like first they had papers, mags, then they had the radios and all. Then televisions came. Then the demand increased. And then mobile phones were invented. Okay, and
Yeah.
then demands still increased, so it moved on, switched to laptops. Okay, and to iPhones. Okay, so human wants are unlimited. We are
Yeah.
not like satisfied, fully satisfied. We keep
Yeah.
wanting. That is the human nature. But resources are limited. So what do we do when you have scarcity of resources, limitation of resources? That you have to make a choice. Okay, we have to make a choice on how to use those resources, So
Yeah.
now this choice is about the usage of those resources. Okay, now choice can be made on what to buy. Choice can be made on what to buy. Okay, what to buy, what to produce, what to produce, what to buy, what to produce, okay, how to make investment, how to invest, etc. When we have limited, then we have to make a choice on how we are going to live with that limited resource. Okay. Now
Yeah.
we have some options like we can either keep like if like we can either keep using the resource, so one day it will deplete fully, but we can find an alternative to that resource. Okay, a replacement of that resource that we can do. Okay,
Yeah.
so these things can be done. It can be the choice. Okay, so this was also called ends and means. Okay, the theory of
Okay.
ends and means. What is ends and means? Ends means the wants, okay, human wants, and means was referred to the limited resources. Okay, refer to the limited resources. Okay, then came another theory, okay, that said that economics, you can take screenshots first and then I'll clear it.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. And Megan, you? Okay. So we will move forward and we will see the next thing that says that economics is the science of growth and development. Economics is the science of growth and development.
Okay.
Okay. Now we know that as the time passes, okay, as the time passes, the like the economy grows and the economy develops. Okay, the economy grows and develops. Okay, for example, in the ancient times, people in the ancient times, what people did if they had extra money, if they had extra money, what did they do? They used to hide it in the jar of rice. Okay, they used to the females of the house used to hide it in the rice jar. Okay,
Okay.
makes sense.
No.
Because yeah, it didn't make sense because like they didn't have like in the ancient times there were not a lot of options for people to invest. Okay,
Yeah.
the investment sector was still growing. Okay, it has developed right now. There are hundreds of options to invest. But back then, what they did to save money was hide it in rice jar, put it in a locker.
Okay.
That is how they saved money. But now when we have extra money, what do? We invest. Okay, we invest. What is investment? Investment is when you put your money somewhere and after a period of time, it will give you some return, profit. Okay, it will give you some profit, extra money, some more amount added to it. That is basically investment. Now, today we can, have you ever heard of bank FD, FDs?
No.
No, no, okay. FD is basically a fixed deposit in which, suppose I recently did an FD, okay, of 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so
Okay.
after 1 year, I am going to get an additional amount of 18,000 on 2 lakh. So after 1 year, when it matures, I'll get 2 lakh 18,000.
Oh,
Okay, so that is an FD. Like it's an example of a fixed deposit, means you can keep the money with the bank, lock the money with the bank, and it
okay.
has a rate of interest on which, like after completion of 1 month, on that rate of interest, I will get an amount. Okay, that is calculated on the original that I deposited 2 lakh. That is FD. So now we can invest in FD. Heard about stock?
Yeah.
Stocks, yeah, little bit,
I've heard about it.
share market, stock
I
market.
don't know it
So
too detailed.
too deep. Yeah, it's okay. We will not talk about too deep.
Yeah.
Okay. Investment is like keeping your money, putting in your money somewhere to gain return. Simple terms, that is investment. So now we invest. So from the concept, from the times where people used to store money in jars, okay, rice jars, to now when they invest and gain return, economy has grown. That is what I want to explain you. Okay,
Okay.
economy has grown and developed. Okay,
Got it.
so yes. So before, previously, people only talked about their income, their development, okay, their income, its rise, okay, how much they're earning, its calculation. Okay, that is microeconomics. But now people talk about the income of a state, okay, income of a country, okay, on a whole, okay, income of
Yeah.
a whole economy means a whole country, how much the whole country is earning, the income of the whole country. Now that we talk about. So to that level, we have grown. That is the science of growth and development. When we talk about the income of nation, okay, the growth and development of the nation as a whole, of the
Okay.
nation on a whole. That is the science of growth and development.
Got
Okay.
it.
So now, but there was more. Okay, there was more. Like growth and development was taking place. Okay, growth and development was taking place. But another thing was that is it sustainable? Okay, is it sustainable? What is sustainable?
Like, can you depend on that thing? Dependability, kind of.
Dependability, kind of. Sustainability is a thing where we cover every concept, okay? Like every area of the economy, be it the people, be it the qualitative aspect, the quantitative aspect, okay? And do it in a balanced and effective manner, okay? In a sustainable manner. That is sustainable, okay? That is sustainable. Now, sustainable development talks about a lot of concepts, okay? It is a very broad term. Sustainable development, okay, means development that takes place in a balanced way. It talks about qualitative things also, quantitative things also, means health also, health of the people also, along with their money. Okay, money
Okay.
is there. Okay, money is there, but also health of the country. Okay,
Yeah.
poverty is there. Okay, eliminating poverty is there. Okay, ending hunger is there, hunger of the world. That is also there. Environment is there, very important when it talks about sustainable. Okay, so concepts such as take a screenshot and then I'll clear.
What's okay? I got it.
Got it. Okay. All right. So now we were talking about sustainable um, science economics as science of sustainable development. Sustainable development. Okay. Now, under sustainable development, we covered both qualitative and quantitative aspects. Okay, such as health of the nation. Okay. Now see, we already crossed the line where we are not talking about individual people, but we are talking about the whole nation. Okay. So when
Yeah.
I say health, it is not just my health, it's not just Megan's health or Amaze's health, but it is the health of our whole country.
Okay.
Okay. So health is there, okay? Environment is there, okay? Environment. In under environment, we have how the environment pollution is there, okay? How environment pollution is being kept in control. What is its level? How it should be controlled? Okay, all of that is there. Ecosystem is there, okay? Ecosystem is there, okay? And various things such as elimination of hunger, okay? Elimination of hunger is there, okay? And reducing poverty. You know what's poverty? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. People who are like very poor to even afford the basic necessities of life.
Yeah.
Okay. That is known as poverty. So these when an economy not just focuses on money, but also focuses on other aspects, such as the welfare of the people, such as the good of the people. That is known as economics as a science of sustainable development. So this is the most recent one, okay, in the definition of economics, that economics was considered as science of sustainable development. Okay, now understood how the evolution of the concept of what is economics developed.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So today we will stop here. Okay.
Okay.
And tomorrow we will talk about macroeconomics. Okay, in
Yeah.
short, in a very fun way. And also, we will talk about one more thing. Okay, one new concept that is there, that is known as positive and normative economics. Okay, positive and normative economics. See, this is nothing. Don't be scared by the name. Okay, this is just the
Yeah.
like difference in statements. Okay, two kinds of statements are there. One is positive, one is normative. Okay, the difference is in the way how they are said it, how they are being said. Only that is positive and normative. Very easy.
Okay.
Okay, so we will first learn about it. Then we will identify positive normative statements. Okay,
Okay.
and then we'll proceed. Okay, right now, 2 minutes break for
Okay.
y'all, and then we will begin with English.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Edric. Good evening.
Ma'am,
Yes, Edric.
ma'am, in English, which chapter is the TMA and which is public exam?
Edric, I will let you know. Okay, I'll have to look it up. That what chapters are there in your English TMA. Okay, and then I will let you know.
Which one are you doing? Public exam?
Yes, we are doing public exam.
Only that portions.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
TMA, I will share the assignments with you.
Okay.
Okay. We'll share the TMA paper with you. We'll explain it to you. Okay, about the TMA. But right now we'll do the public examination chapters. Okay.
Mm.
We'll begin in 2 minutes.
Hi, ma'am. I'm back.
Okay. Okay. Hope Megan and Amaze are back too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay. So let's begin. Now, we have the next chapter. Okay, in the previous lectures, I had finished the chapter, the snake bite. Okay, and then a couple lectures I took with Edric, and we finished the exercises also of the chapter snake bite. Okay, Amaze and Megan, I can take backup classes with you. Okay,
Okay.
if you want, we can plan out some backups for that chapter, and we can complete the exercises. Or those lectures are recorded. So if you all want, I can share the recorded lectures of the snake bite exercises with you. That too I can provide. So you can go through it and complete the exercise, and I can take doubts.
Okay.
So let me know. Now, the second chapter, how the squirrel got his stripes. Okay. Now, if you notice a squirrel very closely, we will see that it has some stripes. Okay. It kinda has a pattern on its skin that looks like stripes. Okay. Now, an intro of the story. This story is one of the many stories referred to in the Ramayana. Okay. Now, this Ramayana is the sacred book of Hindus. Okay. And this story tries to find out the logic behind the stripes on the body of a squirrel. Okay, like there is some belief trying to find out where the stripes came on the body of the squirrel. Okay, so it also emphasizes the dignity of labor, the importance of feelings in participating in teamwork, and even the smallest contribution is important in some way. Okay, so it talks about teamwork. Okay, it talks about teamwork. Now, let's give this a read. Ram asked his army to build a bridge over the sea. Ram is one of the gods of Hindus, okay, that they believe in, okay. And work began at once on a stone bridge. He asked his army to build a bridge over the sea. So they started the work at once on a stone bridge. Now, the monkeys pulled out rocks and heavy stones from the mountains and carried them to the sea. And they cut them into shape and began to build the bridge. Okay. Now he was this Ram had a devotee. Okay, he had a devotee named Hanuman. Ever heard his name? His name was Hanuman, and he was a monkey. Okay, big monkey, and he had all his com- companion monkeys. Okay, he had all his companion monkeys, and basically, this main monkey and the companion monkeys were the army of Ram. Okay, were called the army of Ram. Okay, now they pulled heavy stones from the mountains. Now these were like big, not our usual normal monkeys, okay, but big ones, okay, even larger than a human, okay. So they were like big, strong monkeys. They brought down stones from the mountains, okay, brought them down and they cut them into shape and they started building a bridge. Now, all this was very difficult work and it took a long time. Thousands of monkeys worked night and day. Okay, so thousands of monkeys, they worked like there was some cartoon or movie, I don't remember. I've seen on this. Okay, they stood in row like in a line, like from the mountain to the water. Okay, they stood in line. Then the big monkey was on the mountain, and then they kept passing the stones to each other, rotating. Okay, and then putting them in the sea to make that bridge. Okay. Now Ram felt happy. How hard they work. Their love for me makes them work like this, thought Rama. Okay, he thought that they love me, so that is why they are working so hard. Okay, and how hard they are working, he was thinking that. Now, one day, Ram saw a small brown squirrel. One day he saw a small brown squirrel. So he was going up and down the seashore with little pebbles in his mouth. Now, what was the squirrel doing? He was carrying little pebbles in his mouth, okay, and going up and down the seashore. The little squirrel could carry only one little pebble at a time in his small mouth. He carried the pebble from the seashore and dropped them into the sea. Okay. In its mouth, it carried pebble, and from the shore, that is from the beach, okay, whatever, like the boundary of the sea, and then carried it to the sea. From there, he carried it in the sea. So a great monkey was carrying a large, heavy stone on his back. Okay, a great monkey, a very big monkey, was carrying a large heavy stone on his back, and squirrel came in his way, and the monkey jumped back. Okay, the squirrel suddenly came, okay, while he was going with the rock, and the squirrel came, so he jumped back and said, "Hey, you little thing!" Shouted. Okay, he shouted in a voice like thunder. Here, you little thing, you are in my way. I stepped back and you're alive now, but I nearly fell. And what are you doing here? Okay, he was angry, shouted, okay, that you're in my way and I stepped back and you're alive, but I nearly fell. Okay, what are you doing here? So the little squirrel looked up at the great monkey and said, I am sorry you nearly fell, brother monkey. Okay, he said in a small voice, but please always look where you are going. Okay, now the squirrel is telling the monkey, please look, always look where you are going. I'm helping Rama build the bridge and I want to work hard for him. Squirrel is also helping to build the bridge. Now, you what? Shouted the monkey and laughed aloud. Okay, monkey shouted, you what? And laughed aloud. Did you hear that? He said to the other monkeys. The squirrel is building a bridge with his pebbles. Oh dear, oh dear. I never heard a funnier story. The other monkeys laughed too. Okay, because the squirrel was carrying pebbles. So he said he said that the squirrel is building a bridge with his pebbles. Oh dear, oh dear. I've never heard a funnier story. Now, the squirrel did not think this funny at all. He said, look, I can't carry mountains or rocks. God gave me only a little strength, and I can only carry pebbles. My heart cries out for Rama, and I'll do all I can for him. Okay, so the squirrel was also smart. He said that God gave me only a little strength, that I can only carry pebbles. So I'll do all I can for him. And Monkey said, don't be foolish. Do you think you can help Rama? Do you think we can build a bridge with pebbles? He has a big army to help, so go home and don't get in our way. Okay, the monkey is showing his strength and saying that what can you do with some like such little pebbles? You go home and don't get in our way. But the squirrel said, I want to help too, and would not let go. He carried the pebbles again from the shore to the sea. But the monkeys were angry, and one of them picked up the squirrel by his tail and threw him far away. Okay? They were angry. They picked him by the tail and threw it far away. The squirrel, crying out the name of Rama, fell into his hands. Now the squirrel fell into Rama's hands. Then Rama held the squirrel close to him and said to the monkeys, do not make fun of the weak and small. Your strength or what you do is not important. What matters is your love. This little squirrel has love in his heart. Then he held the squirrel closer to him and said, "Little one, your love touches my heart." He said these words and passed his fingers gently over the little squirrel's back. And when he put him down, there were three stripes on his back. These were the marks of Lord Rama's fingers. Okay, so this was the theory that they have made. Okay, the logic that they have derived. Okay, that the Rama, the Lord Ram, was touched by the love of the squirrel and said that your love touches my heart. Okay, so now and then he passed his fingers gently and he stroked the squirrel's back gently. So those three fingers were the marks that appeared, three white stripes appeared on the squirrel's back, okay, that are said to be the mark of the Lord Ram's fingers. Okay, from then on, the squirrel carries the three white stripes on his back. Okay, so this is a story from the sacred book of Hindus called the Ramayana. Okay, so how was the story?
It was good. It was interesting.
It was interesting, and we don't know actually what happened. So, but the story was good. Like the
Yeah.
story, the moral was about teamwork. Okay, about like working together. The moral is also um, to love what you do. Okay, that we should, what we are doing, we should do it with love in our heart. Okay, there is one verse that says that whether you eat or you drink, do it all for the Lord's glory. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we should do it with love in our heart, with gratitude in our heart. So, and those little efforts, there was this very famous video that I saw that was happening that one day all the starfish, okay, came out on the sand. Okay, some fish, they all came out on the sand. So there was one boy, one little boy, he was trying to pick one and put them in the sea, put that in the sea, then run again, pick one, put that in the sea. But the whole beach was filled with it. So a man came and asked that, why are you doing this and what difference it would make? Like, what difference it would make? Like, you will not be able to put them all. But he then picked up one, threw that in the water, and then said that at least I made a difference in that one's life.
Yeah.
It's a famous story. So even if like we are able to make only a small difference, but it is important that we make a difference rather than do nothing. Okay, so that is another moral of this story. Okay, so we are going to stop here for today since I have to go somewhere right now.
Okay.
Okay, we stop here. Tomorrow when we meet, we will work on the index questions 2.1. We will discuss.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Your work is you can just go through the story. Okay. You can just go
Okay.
through the story. That's all for today. We will
Okay.
continue tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye
See you
bye.
tomorrow.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Yeah, continue play on.